Hello, everyone. This is Nancy Byerly Jones from NBJ Consulting and Resolutions from Nance Eats Plants on YouTube, my little teeny channel. Will you help me grow, please? And a volunteer coach. I am so grateful to be able to say for Healthy World Vitality Plan, one of the best kept secrets in our country for helping folks in a non-judgmental and a heavy support with your small groups of community to help you reach whatever your healthy vitality plan goals may be. So I am going to talk today about something that is very overdue. I did an update back in, gosh, I think it was July of 2022, which is fast approaching the 2-year mark now. I did an update on how I had made some key changes and how that year was evolving up to that point. Uh, I have not done any updates since then, and for those who may be interested, I decided it's time that I shared what my path has been for over 2 years now, why I would recommend it to anyone, or to just obviously find the right path for yourself. But what has mine been, and what could you pluck, pick, possibly choose from Nance Eats Plants journey to use productively and positively in your own journey. So I hope there may be some of those little nuggets in here, but here goes. It was back in January of 2022, after I'd already been vegan for 5 years at that point, I believe it was. But I realized um, I wasn't being a very healthy vegan. The pounds had crept on, pounds I had lost almost too easily when I first went vegan. But I found that I made delicious vegan desserts and that there was wonderful processed options out there that made life so much quicker and simpler. But what I didn't realize is all that processed stuff as a vegan, even though it was vegan, technically it was vegan, but was really more harmful to me than staying on a meat and dairy diet in many ways. So finally, I woke up. And after almost 5 years of being vegan, I said, I've got to clean up this old girl's act. And here's how I did it. And it's been over 2 years now. I've maintained it. I've never felt better. Truly, I feel the best I have in 40 years. Now, we are all going to die. That is something we can count on. And it's a scary thought. More times, at certain times, it's more scary than others because life happens, and sometimes we're forced to face our mortality, even when we're doing a great job of denying it. But yes, we're all going to die. And being wholly food plant-based as I am now, or vegan, or whatever we think we're doing that keeps us so healthy, we run marathons or whatever, we're all going to die. But what we want to do is to create, develop, to find the path to the best quality of life, to feel the best we can at the stage we are in our life. Because if today's our last day, if tomorrow's our last day, what a beautiful thing to know that the quality of our days, we had found the right quality for us and for our lives, and we'd never felt better. And so that's where I am now. I am not ready, as the country song says. I am not. I want to go to heaven, but not tonight. But the quality of my days has so changed for the better since I went on the plan that I'm going to share with you now, my little path. Um, I'm just so grateful. I'm so grateful. So let me start with what I did. Back in January of 2022, first of all, I threw out the word resolutions. I think resolutions, we are just too used to making them and kind of expecting to break them. You know what I mean? So years ago, I changed that word in my life to my yearly priorities. And the reason is, I think when we are being honest about what is a priority in our life, whether it's something big or small, that we make it happen. It's just like people that we make time for in our lives. It's because they are a priority to us. And if they ain't a priority, then guess what? We don't have time to call them. We don't have time to check in on how they're doing. We don't have time to care about what they are doing or not doing. We certainly don't have time to spend time with them. Same thing with our work, with our hobbies, with our exercise, what we love in exercise and movement. So I changed the word to priorities because we're pretty serious if we label something a priority. We're pretty serious about making sure it happens in our lives. So that's the first thing I did. I decided that getting my health to be a much healthier vegan, I was thrilled I had gone vegan, and I did it primarily to begin with because of animal cruelty. A documentary just shook my world. Wished it had done it long before it did, because I've always loved animals. We have rescues, we have special needs, we in our donkeys, our horses, our dogs, our cats. So the love's been there, but I was still in denial, like so many people. Like, um, eating animals is probably, especially with the way a lot of the animal industry is treating animals and the cruelty, it is just not, certainly not good for the animals and definitely not good for our environment. So it just took me until later on in my 60s to get that wake up call, that 2x4 that came and hit me over the head. That's when I went vegan, literally instantly. That's not necessarily the way to do it for a lot of people. It's just how it happened for me. Ultimately, I saw the weight drop. I saw my cholesterol go down 150 points. So, that all became self motivation. Plus, I found out what delicious recipes there are out there when you're vegan and plant based. So, but then I slid, like I said earlier in this YouTube little video, I slid back to buying easy food to make, the processed frozen stuff, really pigging out on those delicious vegan desserts that I love to make and learn to make. So that all brought the pounds right back pretty almost too quickly and very easily. So back to the start of 2022, I made a plan, and I thought, I need to slow myself down, not be misimpatient like I can be, and kind of plot this out. So the first part of my plan was to start eliminating 2 or 3 foods that I knew were not my friend. Yes, they were vegan, but not doing my body or my health any good. That was desserts. I know, it's hard to give up sugar because it truly is an addiction, but I was eating too many. So I said, I'm going to give up desserts and I'm going to give up chips. So, in place of those, I think substitutes are especially important when you're in a transition time between 2 different ways of eating. My substitutes became carrot sticks or celery with hummus, or Trader Joe's everything but the bagel seasoning on my carrots. That became the substitute for chips, or pumpkin seeds was another one. For desserts, I started getting my favorite fruits together, making a vegan whipped cream, which is delicious, by the way, and eating it very slowly and eating as much as I wanted of the fruit because I could. So, eliminating some of the bad foods that I was subjecting my poor body to was the first step. And then the next step, again, this is all over a few weeks' time and all. I decided I need to become much more educated than I am. I read, I study, I learn, try to be learning all the time, but I wanted to more formally increase my plant-based vegan education. So I enrolled in, got accepted into, and loved every moment of the intensive Main Street Academy's certification to become a vegan lifestyle coach and instructor. Thanks for being with the Southern accent, the mispronounced words, by the way. I did that, and oh my gosh, I made some lifelong friends doing that. I cannot begin to tell you the value of the experience, the quality of the teachers, the doctors and the other teachers that we had. Absolutely an amazing experience. But of course, getting certified in this or that or whatever, that does not just automatically make you an expert. So the learning never, ever, ever stops. And I love learning, and I love trying to understand, why does this do our what does this do inside our bodies, and what does this movement do for our bodies? How do the muscles and the brains talk to each other? I enjoy that kind of stuff. But anyway, so that was part of it, getting further educated and in a little bit more formal way in the vegan plant-based world. And boy, did Main Street Academy, Victoria Moran's Main Street Academy, do just that, plus the lifelong friends that I told you about. So then I also, kind of on top or in conjunction with that same time period, while I was going through the academy, I knew that to keep the weight off and to lose all the weight that I did need, even though it was falling off quickly again because of cutting out that stuff that wasn't helping me, the sweets and the chips. And I ate a lot of all of them, okay? But I knew that I needed to diversify and increase my activity. Now, this is a very active old gal here, and I always have been. So, I took some thinking. And the short version, yay, right? The short version is I got into indoor rowing. Boy, did I get into it. I started rowing 3 or 4 times a week initially, and then I challenged myself thanks to a wonderful book on rowing that I'll have somewhere on a slide here to refer you to if you're interested. But it was a challenge to row every day. And I thought, okay, well, in September of 2022, that would be a good little challenge for Nance. And so I challenged myself to row every day in September 2022. And do you know what? It's what, over 16 months at least, or well over. It's about a year and a half later now at the making of this video, and I'm still rowing every day. Have not missed one day. It's just as much a part of my life as cleaning my teeth, flossing my teeth, or fixing and having fun fixing healthy foods to eat. So I added that diversity, definitely a diversity. I'd never done indoor rowing in my life before June 1st of 2022, and then started the daily indoor rowing September 1st. So diversity of movement, if you are very active as I am, or moderately active, or somewhat active, but you're doing the same thing over and over, I just suggest thinking how you can mix that up, add something new. Just make sure you enjoy it. It's okay if we try some things and it doesn't work and we say, never mind. That's fine. And we may not pick it the first time, what is our new diversified exercise movement, but make sure you're having fun with it and enjoying it. And really stick with it. Give it a fair trial before you decide, nah, this ain't for me. Because yes, there are going to be sore muscles when we start something new. There's going to be learning curve. There's going to be required patience, not to over push yourself. So, but I encourage you to do the same thing, to up the exercise and to diversify it a little bit. And so with that, so I upped my education. I was eliminating, and believe me, it did not take that long for my taste buds and my body to change. I, I remember wonderful desserts, and I remember how much I enjoyed chips, of course, and they're good memories. But I don't want the bloated feeling. I don't want the pounds. I don't want the negative effects when I couldn't control the quantity of those. So, would I ever have a dessert or a chip again? Of course I might. The world wouldn't end. The sun would rise the next day. It's not a never thing in this world of plant-based. But I just feel so much better when I'm totally whole food plant based. That why, why would I want to do that? Memories are good of cheesy pizzas and ice cream and things that I used to love, but I just feel too good. And there's too many other great foods that I've learned to eat and to learn to make, and it's just simple and delicious. So also, I've maintained my weight loss, which ended up being right near 60 pounds. I've just maintained it for the first time in my life with no struggle. And I never dieted to get that 60 pounds off. I was just patient. I added and diversified the movements and exercises I just shared. And I started out easily, not on any diet, just what do I need to eliminate first? And, just worked my way into changing my taste buds and finding other substitutes that were just as good and much, much healthier for me. So it took the better part of a year for those 60 pounds. But again, patience, patience, patience. And I was just thrilled any pound was coming off. And I was sorry that I had that much to take back off, but easy, easy maintenance this time, which was never true on other diets that I would try. Oh, yes, I was an Atkins girl for a while. I think I've tried them all. Even the Mediterranean, which I wouldn't call myself that now because I'm oil-free, sugar-free, salt-free, mostly, not 100%, but mostly. And the Mediterranean diet, of course, has fish in it and olive oil. So, again, never say never. Be kind to yourself. But the beauty is once you start feeling so much better and the quality of your days and your energy and your sleep's better and your weight's where you wanted it for years and years and stays there easily, it's just not a motivational thing. Some people say you have great discipline to eat that way. No, I feel great. So it was a commitment at the start, and you need to do the same thing to yourself if there are changes you need to make. And it can be hard. We can sometimes feel selfish to take time for ourselves to, one, think out a good plan for us, and two, to implement it and make it happen. We can come up with amazing excuses that we don't have time, we got to do this for someone else or whatever. But it's true. If we're not taking care of ourselves, then we can't take very good care of others and other things that we want to give our attention to. So it's just common sense. So but it took me a long while to really learn it. But again, the weight came off and everything has just been so easy. And after, well, not everything. That sounded crazy, didn't it? I had to learn a different way of cooking initially and but I don't know. You just, again, you feel great. You're going to keep doing what you're doing to stay that way. And if you go off the wagon, if you make, if you backslide, we humans do that, right? But you'll feel it. If you're being honest with yourself, you'll feel it because of more time in the restroom the next day or just energies plummets or whatever, you'll feel it. So again, the motivation just comes from how great we feel, and that's a wonderful thing. So then after getting further in my education, upping the exercise, diversifying the exercise, did you notice for a Southerner, I'm trying to say my ings, diversifying. Did you hear the ing? Okay. Anyway, and then if anyone needs translation with my Southern accent, I don't mind. Don't apologize for it. Very proud of it, but never, never am I offended if you need a translation. So anyway, then I got to the point as 2022 was fast evolving that I wanted to give back, that I wanted to join a community of people who that we were kind of, we may be on different paths and we may be trying to tweak this part of our healthy vitality plans more than others parts from some, we're all different in that way, but I wanted to give back. And so besides the private consulting that I do in my legal world of consulting with law firms as a prior attorney and a mediator, but in addition to that, I've always done stress management, a healthy vitality type of consulting for individual clients and small groups if they want me to, and they pay me for that service, and I've always loved that. It's never been a huge part of my legal consulting work, of course, but something I was passionate about. And some of the biggest compliments I got about my legal consulting work with law firms across the country and Canada and elsewhere was, that my teaching method and my approach was holistic. And so I guess I was getting hints way back then that I was walking this path toward this healthy vitality planning in a more committed way. And I joined a group, a nonprofit called Healthy World Vitality Plan, and that was in 2022 as well. Again, probably one of the biggest gifts, in addition to my wonderful family, that I've ever given myself. And the other gift would be, of course, going fully whole food plant based. But I joined Healthy World Vitality Plan. Now, if you don't know about it, you can check it out at hwvitality.com. A nonprofit and the best, just amazing people. But regardless of where you are in building or improving or strengthening or even totally starting your healthy vitality plan, this group might be exactly what you're looking for. And it's $40 a year in membership. And when you find out how many resources you get for that $40, you will be astounded, as I was. And ultimately, and that's enough now, because you can go check it out. And if you want to talk privately with me about the details of Healthy World, I'm always glad. Healthy World Vitality Plan, I am always glad to do that. It's truly been one of the best gifts I've given myself. Now, I will say, though, it was founded by Don Fries and Bev Bow. And again, amazing, wonderful people, and just such a blessing in my life, as are my fellow coaches, because I am a coach for Healthy World Vitality Plan now and have been for the past year. And I just plan to continue that path and journey. And it has been a wonderful one as well. Twice a year, Healthy World Vitality Plan offers small groups that you can join. You can pick your coach, you can read about them and pick your coach. And the groups are the way they try to keep them to 12, might go up to 14 or so, but they try to keep them a small number. And it's amazing the community that each small groups builds, just in meeting once a week for 11 weeks. And we go through the different pillars that help keep us sane and healthy in this wild, crazy world. And those include, of course, what we put on the end of our fork. So nutrition, sleep hygiene, which I thought might be a waste of my time. Whew, was I ever wrong. I learned so much the first time I joined a group in Healthy World Vitality Plan. So nutrition, sleep hygiene, movement, exercise, again, just invaluable, the resources and what we share there. And then you've got, of course, inner harmony is what Healthy World calls it, or a lot of us call it stress management, and how we're handling it, how we can tweak it to be even better at it in our own lives and those around us. And community, our relations with our communities, our relations with our families, our relations with others. And those are the 5 pillars. Now, personally, another pillar that I think is very important for all of us to make time for in our lives is the way we can show compassion to animals, whatever they may be. In my husband's and my case, we have literally, as one friend said, your ministry, Nancy, has been, you and Bob, adopting and rescuing so many donkeys and horses, dogs and cats through the years, and giving them a safe, loving little farm to live on. And when we adopt, rescue, whatever, they don't go anywhere. We don't rehome our animals. So yes, we have made the, I won't say mistake, but we've definitely brought in sometimes more than our little farm really should have had, but it all worked out. And through the years, we've certainly lost a few through death, but we know whatever their prior chapters of life had been, we know that their time with us has been loving, and they've been well cared for. And so I guess, yeah, it's been a mission. We just didn't think of as that because they give us back so much more than we could ever give them. So again, compassion for animals, whether we're sending donations in to support some of the humane societies in our own community, or we're volunteering to walk and love on the dogs at the rescue centers, whatever, there, or go crazy like us and have donkeys in your front yard. But whatever, I hope that we're making time in our lives, all of us, to think about animal compassion and what we could do to help animals. We're all living souls in this world, so that's certainly a big pillar. So, what am I saying after all this? It's been I've told you my weight's been maintained. I've never felt better, but it's been over 2 years that this has been maintained. I've been on this specific journey, and one of the best ones in my life. So what can we narrow it down to that I've tried to share? Make a plan. Decide how serious you are about making this change or that change, and make a simple plan. Don't at the start, at least, don't kill yourself with detail or overthinking it. Just make a plan, but make it a reasonable common sense plan. Remember, I'm going to eliminate just two things at first, and to start trying to get my vegan diet cleaner and healthier. So be kind to yourself, be your own best friend, and make a simple common sense plan, and have that commitment that, by gosh, by golly, I am worth the time and the effort to get healthier and to do this for myself. That's very important, because too many years I had too many excuses of why I didn't have time for my health journey, or doing things that would really have. Yes, I was active. Yes, I love my walks and other exercises, horseback riding, anything I've been involved in. I always loved it, but it was always squeezed in. You know what I mean? Always squeezed in among just you know, dealing with family stuff, work, etc. So I know that's easier said than done to make time for ourselves, but it'll be one of the best gifts we give, not only to ourselves, but everyone around us. So patience. Patience, patience, something I really needed to sprinkle on a lot of myself, because when I start a new routine or exercise, I just want to snap those fingers. And, when I learned how to do military push-ups at age 73, by the way, last year, I wanted to be doing a whole bunch all at once. It took me months, and, it's okay. Now I can do 35 in a row. Maybe not the best form in the world, but it ain't bad form either, and it is military style. Where did I get the strength to do that? That came from another diversification in my exercise movement called Tibetan Rites. I have that on other videos. Big believer in the Tibetan Rites. It's 5 exercises I do every single day, and makes a huge difference too. So again, that's on other videos, but I got the strength to start doing military style push-ups from doing the Tibetan rites. But what am I talking about? Patience. Patience with ourselves, patience with, which means our bodies, and helping them to build the muscle, to build the understanding of what we're trying to teach them, and just patience. And it's just beautiful then to all of a sudden realize, week after week, I am getting stronger. I am getting more flexible. My balance is better. Heavens, I'm sleeping so much better, and I just feel great. And my energy level and my relations have improved, and gosh, I handle stress better than I used to. So it's great to be patient with ourselves, because the little gifts of success that we make along the way are just beautiful moments in our lives. And that's how I want to end, is to celebrate the small successes in your journey, whatever your journey is. This one, a healthier vitality plan, or some journey you might have going on at work or in a relationship. Celebrate the little successes. Don't wait and think you have to have some glorious, fireworks going off ending at the end of this journey before you celebrate. That's not what it's all about. It's the moments. And so if you've if you go and you're just starting plant-based, for example, and you finally have a day when you eat a fully plant-based meal once that day. Well, hallelujah, that is something to celebrate. Don't maybe celebrate with a sugar-loaded dessert, maybe, but let yourself know you're proud that you did it, and think about what you did, and think about how you feel afterwards, and think about how you can tweak your plan. Did you get enough to eat? Did you feel satiated after you ate that meal? Do you need to plan it a little better? But just celebrate. You do a new exercise movement, and you just celebrate every little step, because that's where the moments in our lives are where our joy and our real successes come from. When we wait to celebrate the big ending of the journey, whatever we think that might be, well, one, we may miss it, but two, we're missing out on all that other opportunity to take a break and smile and realize the progress that we're making and the success stories that we're building along the way. Success stories that will last, by golly, right? Okay, with that said, I will just end with the one thing on patience. Lao Shu, the Chinese philosopher, many, many years ago, said, and I may be butchering it a little, but said, I'll have that on a slide as well. But his quote, which means so much to me every day, is nature never rushes, and yet everything gets done. I need to hear that often. And the other thing that I love all sorts of quips, but the other one I will end on here is to remind ourselves often that yesterday really is a canceled check. Tomorrow is just a promissory note. But today, it's the true and only cash, real cash that we have. So by golly, we best make the best of it. And then C.S. Lewis wrote that beautiful saying, we cannot go back and change the beginning, but we can, by golly, the by golly's mine, but we can change the ending. I wish you well. I thank you for hanging in there with me as I shared this update in the start of 2024. I don't know when I'll do another one, but I hope there might have been little nuggets in there that help you on your journey. Please, please get in touch with me if I can help further or to share your own stories, and let's get to know each other and build that relationship. Thanks so much for visiting Nance Eats Plants or NBJ Consulting Resolutions, however you found me, or Healthy World Vitality Plan. I am very appreciative. This is Nance, over and out.